Nature is filled with some behaviors that are, well, they're pretty bizarre, even kind of disgusting, right? But what if some of those strangest habits are actually brilliant survival tools? In this explainer, we're going to dive into one of nature's most effective and, let's be honest, most revolting superpowers. So let me ask you, what do you think is the most extreme, the most out there defensive move an animal could possibly make? I mean, there are a lot of contenders, spraying poison, playing dead, but the one we're looking at today, it's in a whole other league. Yep, you heard that right. The star of our show today is the turkey vulture, a bird that has literally weaponized its own vomit. And we're not talking about it just getting rid of a bad meal. No, this is a targeted, high-impact defense that can stop a predator dead in its tracks. Okay, so let's get right into the gory details. This isn't some random panicked reaction. It is a highly specialized strategy that serves a bunch of different purposes, and it's what makes the turkey vulture such an incredibly tough and resilient creature. Just look at the sheer power behind this defense. We're not talking about a little dribble here. A turkey vulture can shoot this stuff up to 10 feet away. Can you imagine being a coyote or a hawk thinking you found an easy snack, only to get blasted with a stream of foul-smelling gunk from that far away? No thanks. And here's the kicker. What they're throwing up isn't just, half-digested food. It's packed with gastric acid so strong, it's almost like battery acid. It's corrosive enough to actually sting and burn an attacker's skin and eyes. That shock and pain gives the vulture the perfect window to make a quick getaway. And get this, the projectile vomit is just one tool in the vulture's incredible survival kit. Their stomach acid is so potent it can neutralize deadly diseases like anthrax and botulism. That bald head, it's not for looks. It helps them stay clean when they're eating. They even poop on their own legs. It's called urohydrosis. As it evaporates, it cools them down, and the acid in it acts like an antiseptic. I mean, it is the absolute definition of gross but genius. So this wild ability isn't just some bizarre party trick. It's a completely legitimate evolutionary strategy, and it even has a scientific name. It's a pretty fascinating example of just how creative nature gets when it comes to survival. So here's the official term for it: defensive vomiting. Emesis is just the technical word for, throwing up. And animals use it to protect themselves from two huge threats: predators on the outside and dangerous germs on the inside. It's both a shield and a system purge. You can really think of this strategy as a two-for-one deal. First, you've got the anti-predator function. By spewing something foul and acidic, you make yourself a disgusting and even painful target. But then, you've got the anti-pathogen function. If a vulture happens to eat something with nasty toxins or bacteria, the fastest way to stay alive is to just get it out right away. Now, the turkey vulture might be the undisputed master of this, but it's definitely not the only animal that's figured out this trick. Let's take a quick look at a few other champions of defensive vomiting out there in the animal kingdom. And check this out. It's a totally different spin on the same strategy. Unlike the vulture's more offensive approach, the baby European roller uses vomit defensively. It basically covers itself in this gross, foul-smelling orange liquid to make itself completely unappetizing. And that horrible smell also works as an alarm, letting its parents know that a predator is snooping around the nest. Now, at this point, you might be thinking this is all just weird animal stuff, right? But this fundamental survival instinct isn't just for the birds. We humans have our very own version of defensive vomiting. Seriously, think about it. Why does our body react so violently when we drink too much alcohol or eat food that's gone bad? Or what about morning sickness during pregnancy? It's not a bug in the system. It's our body's ancient defense system kicking into high gear. It's really like our body's own emergency protocol. First, it detects something that shouldn't be there, a toxin. Second, it hits the emergency eject button to get that substance out before it can do any more harm. And even morning sickness might be a part of this. Some scientists think it's a way to protect a developing fetus by making the mother avoid foods that could be potentially harmful. It's a built-in safety feature we all have. Okay, so we've established that vomiting can be a superpower. Cool, but why should we really care about a bird that throws up and poops on its own legs? Well, because these disgusting habits are actually critical for the health of our entire planet. Here it is, the bottom line. Vultures are scavengers. They eat dead things. And by doing that, they are constantly removing decaying carcasses from the environment, which stops the spread of horrible diseases like rabies, tuberculosis, and anthrax to other animals, to livestock, and even to us. And the scale of their work is just staggering. A study back in 2022 figured out that by eating all these carcasses before they can fully decompose, the world's vultures prevent tens of millions of metric tons of greenhouse gases from being released into the atmosphere every single year. They are literally cleaning our air. So what happens when these natural cleaners disappear? We have a tragic and very real example. In India, a veterinary drug that was common for livestock turned out to be deadly to vultures, and it wiped out 95% of their population. Without the vultures, dead animals were left rotting, which caused the feral dog population to explode, which then led to a massive, deadly outbreak of rabies. The estimated public health cost was around $21 billion a year. That is the true value of a vulture. So the real takeaway here is this. Our first instinct to label something as gross or scary can totally blind us to its real purpose and its importance. The turkey vulture is the perfect example of how some of nature's most misunderstood creatures are often the ones working the hardest to keep our world in balance. And that leaves us with one last thought. You know, from maggots that can clean wounds to the bacteria living in our own gut, the natural world is just full of things that might make us squirm, but are secretly vital to our survival. So the next time you see a vulture circling way up high, don't just see an omen of death. See a guardian of public health, a master of survival, a true gross genius. It really makes you wonder, what other hidden protectors are out there?